Hello, I am back again, and for this video, as promised, I'm going to show you how to make this pattern for this punch, okay? And the six petal flower and a 5 petal flower, okay? So first, look around your house. We have shapes of various sizes. We need circles to do this. So I was looking around and I thought, all right, see, I do have a small punch, but what if you don't? What if I didn't have this? So I looked around and I thought, you know what? My lipstick, well, this is a sugar lip scrub. So I laid that down and traced around it. That was a little bit bigger than what I wanted, but it would have worked. And I thought I need one a little bit smaller, but look at this, my nail polish top. That is the exact size to trace around to make these holes, okay? So that's perfect. Then what I need, so those are these sizes here, okay? So now we needed something to go in the middle of this circle to hold it together for the pattern, okay? So, and for that, then I found 2 different sizes, one for the 6 petal, and that is my glue. Put that down, trace around it. I can definitely use that. And then the bottom of this whiteout, trace around that. Okay, that one should, I'm hoping this should fit this and this should fit this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out and we'll see. So let's go ahead and do that. And I didn't want to do too much cutting while I'm on. I'd rather show you how to put it together. So I got them pretty much cut out already, except for these last 2 bits here, because we're going to be doing some more cutting in just a little bit anyways. So look around, put me on pause and look around and see what kind of little circles you have. Look at everything and find those circles. Okay, let's see if this fits. Yes, it does. That's going to fit perfect on there. Okay, so that's a good size. That actually might do this one too. Yes, it does. So I could actually use that for either one. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one anyways, and we'll see how much bigger this is. Because if you wanted to do bigger circles going around, then we'd need a bigger circle. And there's nothing wrong with making graduating sizes, right? Because I'm always and forever using circles and squares and flowers and butterflies and hearts. So if you can ever find those shapes around, trace them or draw them. All right, you know what? That is going to be way too big for that. Okay, but that's okay. This one will work. So I can go ahead and I can trace around this one again. So that was this. So I'm going to need another one. So let's go ahead and trace around. And then we'll cut this baby out. All righty. And I'm just using just packaging. Just cardboard from off of food. All right, so we're done with that. Yay. Okay, so now we're going to create these patterns to use because we need the shapes. So I'm going to try to shape this around this square right here to see how even I can get this. Ooh, I think that looks pretty darn good. Okay. Yes, I do. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to put something that goes around here. So let's see, let's use this glue because this is my tacky glue and this will work really well. And that's very forgiving. So, but all we want is glue just around the outer edges. That's all. We don't want to put glue all in the middle because there's going to be a hole in the middle, see? Alrighty, so I've got glue around the outer edges only. And then I'm going to try to lay this as evenly as possible in the middle of all these. Okay, there. Then we're going to try to pick this up without moving those circles behind it. Get my tweezers. Alrighty. And now we can look at it and go, all right, so they're not touching still. So I want to push them together and make sure they're touching. All right, there. Now we can let that dry, and there's pattern 1. that should be pretty close to this one. Let's see. Let's lay it right on top. It's just a wee bit smaller. Check that out. Oh, that's perfect. And you know what? I'm so going to save this because I like to layer, and this is the perfect layer to lay on top of that. So I'm going to save this so I can use it together with this. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to let that dry. While that's drying, then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with this. So let's put these down, and we'll see if we can line these up again. Shiny side up. Okay, there, and there. And they are touching, and it looks like they're fairly even. Right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and think that'll be okay. I'm pretty sure. Okay, just around the outer edges. And let's put that down and maneuver that over a wee bit. All right, and then we'll pick it up. I really do enjoy figuring out how to make things. I love that challenge. It's just so much fun. All right, so my circle's a little bit on the big side, but that's okay. Right now I'm concentrating on the middle rounded five-piece rounded star here. So let's move this piece over. Move over a little. There you go. All right, there. That's better. All righty, so now we're going to let that dry. Okay, so in the meantime, we can look at this. So look at what we've got. This is our pattern. Okay, and you cannot see the circle poking out between here at all. On the other one, you can, so we're going to have to cut those little dents out. But that's okay. This one is good. All right, so now we have this pattern. So now we can use this to actually make a good solid pattern. All right, so we need another piece of packaging. So we're going to let this dry. We're going to lay our new pattern on here, and we're going to trace around it. All righty, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All righty, check it out. Now I want to lay this on and see if it's the same size now. I bet it is. Yes, it is. Check it out, the exact same size. All right, so that's funny. All right, so now we actually have a really nice pattern. So we can cut this piece out and trim it out while we're waiting for this one to dry. So now we have an actual really nice pattern which we can save and use for making these. What do you think of that? Pretty nifty, huh? All right, there. And on this, you really want to try to cut it on the inside of the line, because otherwise each time you trace it, it's going to get bigger and bigger if you cut on the outside of the line. So try to trim it on the inside. Alrighty, this is coming out really nice. I'm impressed. Whoop, a little bit of a flat side, but that's okay. I can round it off when I cut it out. Alrighty, very good. So now there's our actual pattern. Isn't that nifty? I like it. Now where'd that funky side go that I did? All right, right there. So let's curve that up a little bit more. Alrighty, not too shabby. Do I have any points? Yes, I've got a little point there. All right, good. So now I've got a pattern for this one. And I can go ahead and lay this down on my colored papers and cut my flowers out. And then all I need is the circle part, which we have. We've got that. Where'd I put the other one? Oh, I glued them on the back. Okay. All right. So we need this piece, and then we need a circle that fits, and that was this circle here. So let's trace around this again, and then we will have this pattern and this pattern. All right. Ta-da! So check it out. We've got our flower pattern. Isn't that neat? What do you think of that? That's funny. This one is a little bit bigger than the other ones, but I was trying to stay away from this little bump. But that's okay. We're going to fix this right now. Yep, we are. Trim that off a little bit more, just like I did the other one. That's better. Okay. Very good. All right. So we now have our pattern, and now we just need the heart. And the heart's easy to do. Pretty much everybody knows how to make a heart. So, and if not, then you can always use these little circles. Again, you can use 2 circles to make a heart, and I will show you how to do that. So let's use this one. So we'll trace around this, and we've got the other one traced on there already. So if you don't know how to make a heart, then this is another way that you can do it, is by cutting out 2 hearts, 2 circles. Okay, there's one circle, and here's another one. And honestly, it doesn't matter if they're not perfectly the same as each other, because I kind of like hearts that are lopsided. Why not? All right, so to make a heart, then you just lay these down like this, and then you trace around and you add a tip. So if you have a square, I'll show you how to do that. Let's see, and this is about 1.5 inches. So let's cut. Here we go. We've got a piece right here. This is, how wide is that? 1.5 inches. No way. That's funny. Okay. Alrighty, we're going to cut this 1.5 inches. We really need 1 inch, but that's okay. All right, so then we can, if you glue these right on this square, or you just take them and you hold them like this, and you can trace right around them. Ta-da! Heart. What do you think of that? Did you realize that's what I was going to do? And if you want it smaller, then you can just go ahead and cut it down smaller. And as a matter of fact, if you put it on paper, it's even easier to start out with. So if you take a piece of paper and we cut out, because we actually want it to be a 1 inch heart. So let's cut a piece of paper that's 1 inch by 1 inch. Alrighty. And then if you fold it in half this way and create a diamond, then you can take your circle and you can lay it on so that you can trace around. So this is going to be the bottom of your heart. This is going to be the top of your heart. So you want to do up and around and over like that. Okay, but now you still want this to be down a little bit further. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and cut it down a little bit more and then round it off. And this started out being a 1-inch square, so you know it's going to be a 1-inch heart. So look at that. It's a little bit bigger. But isn't that interesting? So now we have a heart shape. Whoops. We have a circle, that, and we have a heart. Ta-da! All right, and if you want it smaller, then all you do is just cut it smaller. Then you just take your pencil and you just draw it smaller. And then you can have a smaller one. And that's probably the size that I have. Yep, it is. Okay. But see how I did that? Just tracing around, follow the line around, and draw it in there. And then you can cut this down and get many different sizes. So you can actually layer these. All right. So there you go. So if you save this and you trace this onto a piece of cardboard, then you'll have an outer layer for this one. And this should be about this size. Yep, a little bit smaller. But see what I mean? You can get pretty darn close by making your own patterns. All right, so now we've definitely got this pattern for this six loop flower. So now let's do the 5. Okay, so for the 5, I want to cut in, because if I bring this up and show you, see how you can see the corners in here, these little doodads? So I'm just going to cut that out using my scissors. Just follow the circle and trim this part out. Ta-da! And get rid of all those, because we don't need that part. Get rid of this one, and just again follow the circle with your scissors and cut that portion out. And it's just a little dinky tiny piece that you're trimming out, because you don't want to trace around that. You don't want to have that in your flower when you cut it out. All right, so there you go. Now there's no more little bits, whoops, except for this one. All right, didn't get it all the way in. All right, there we go. There it is. Okay, so now we can trace around this one and have another pattern. So let's go ahead and do that. That'll fit on here. So now, or you can just use this as your pattern too, but the circles might eventually fall off. That's why I like to go ahead and just trace around it and make an actual real sturdy pattern. There you go. And there's your 5 petal flower. Okay, so let's trim this off and get rid of these extra bits and pieces. We'll go ahead and trim this out. I like using any type of soap type boxes because they always smell yummy. It smells so clean and fresh. Here's one. Here's 2. So using your scraps, you can make patterns. Isn't that neat? Plus we're recycling by using packaging, empty boxes. Whenever I open up food, if it's in a white packaging like this, then I save it because I always need white scraps. So, and when I'm making patterns, then I prefer this more heavy duty, substantial. Alrighty, so now we've got this 6 petal, we've got a 5 petal, and this circle should fit on here just fine, and this heart should fit on there just fine. Pretty nifty. And again, if you want to make the circle smaller, then you can find an item that's smaller, or you can just go ahead and you can just draw around. And what I do is I go like this and just kind of go in about 1/8 of an inch, and then just eighth of an inch, 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 and then you just connect all the dots. And I'll pull it up so you can see what I'm doing. So see what I did? And then this way, I can follow the line and just draw it. Connect those dots, and then I can trim it down. See, and I've gone over a little bit, so I'm going to draw it and on this side a little bit. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're just making a pattern. So see, it doesn't have to be perfect. Alrighty, so then I can cut it. If I want it to be smaller, I can cut that out. Alrighty, but I actually like this size on both of these. So now I have a new pattern. So, and what I like to do with patterns is I like to put this in a zippy bag with a finished one. So I would put all of this into a bag. And this is the pattern for this. This is all the pieces that I need to make this. So isn't that neat? And then this one here, the 5 petal. I could actually use that and make a 5 petal flower just like this, and then embellishment, and then put that in the package too. All right, so there you go. That's today's idea of using your scraps to make patterns. Alrighty, so I hope you like this idea and you'll give it a try, and hope you just look around your house and see what kind of circles you have. We have all different sizes. I mean, look at the difference in sizes of these. They're all totally different sizes. Okay, we've got some bigger sizes. We've got even bigger sizes. Okay, so just look around and see. Medicine bottles. Here's another nail polish one. All right, so have a look about and see what kind of shapes you've got that you can trace, okay? Even lids, plastic lids. Alrighty, so I hope you like this idea and you'll give it a try. And if you're liking my series of use those scraps that are 1 inch or less, then please keep giving me those thumbs up and I will continue sharing with you. And until we meet again, happy crafting. Bye-bye.